For centuries, a woman's legal status was defined by silence. No right to vote, no right to own property, no voice in the rooms was decisions was made. But courage rewrote history. The first wave fought for the ballot. The second wave demanded a seat at the table, shattering barriers in education, careers, and financial independence. Today, women lead nations, build empires, and divide global changes. The progress is undeniable, but history isn't just looking back, it's about looking forward because the global fight for equality is far from finished. True progress means safety and ensuring that choices and equality opportunity for every woman happens everywhere. Now, why am I discussing this at the beginning of a video that is supposed to be about a supervillain that I created when I was younger? Well, it's because the super vixen that I am discussing today, Nestra, who has the ability to produce alamo from her body and mentally manipulate and control male humans to the point of putting them in a zombie-like state, is an extreme feminist and also sexist towards males. Her ultimate goal of a utopia world is where human males are enslaved by women rulers who are a part of a global elite and control all powers of the world. Let me state at the moment that this character does not reflect my political views in any way and form, and I also don't disagree or agree with her beliefs. I would also like to give credit where credit is due. These illustrations that you see are not drawn by me. The stories and characters are 100% my creation. However, the illustrations are from a friend of mine, Brian Corson. I am probably pronouncing his name wrong, but I'm going to be putting it on the screen right there. He can be found on Instagram
Korzu is
and
actually the
Facebook.
correct pronunciation.
He is an amazing artist, and I strongly recommend watching his videos. Like all the characters in my story, Nestra's story begins when she was very young, where she has a mutated ability that allows her to produce alimone from her body. And for the better part of her young life, she was unable to control this ability. And just for a quick definition, alimone is a type of chemical produced and released by an individual of one species that negatively affects the behavior of a member of another species to benefit the person releasing but not the receiver. Alimone is common form of defense against predators. Now, obviously, before anybody say anything, I realize male is not a separate species, but it is a comic book and people don't produce alimone anyway, so this is fantasy. Let's move on. Because of this, she unfortunately was obsessively violated by numerous male individuals throughout her life. This includes her stepfather, her own older brother, and a neighbor who all obsessively essayed her. Now, let me elaborate a little bit. Though was producing a intense attraction to her, it is not at all justification for what the men did to her. It did not force them to do it. It did not control them to the point where they was not making the decision to do it. All it did was give them a intense desire to be with her. They still went through with it and did what they did. And once again, Nestra, who real name is Brittany Lilith, had absolutely no control over her abilities at this time. So she was literally powerless to what was going on. She was not to blame for any of the violent, savage, and disgusting attacks that she was forced to endure. As a teenager, her story only gets worse when she is kidnapped and placed into human trafficking. Now, even though the men who did these acts to her are the most heinous monsters to walk this earth, it absolutely does not justify her ultimate behaviors in the future when she placed her own anger and fury on innocent men. However, I can't help but to sympathize with her to some degree. The anger and fury built up within her. And after all those years of being targeted by one group of people and to feel powerless, when she finally gains control over her powers, she can also gain control over the ones who harmed her most. Does it mean that her hatred for men is excusable? Of course not. But it does explain why an individual would want to seek revenge. It does explain why an individual these sociopathic tendencies and deluded thoughts. We actually seen something like this unfold in real life. Allison Corns, a prostitute who murdered her Johns in the Florida area. Now, eventually, Brittany is rescued by the survivor, who is the wrestler who was stalked by Hideous. She goes on to become a vigilante herself, one of these few superheroes I have in the rest of the universe. I will make a later video giving her full backstory. So she kind of takes her under her wing and has her live at her house with her, but she doesn't become a vigilante with her. Now let's fast forward a little bit to college. She has still had numerous of attacks. And also, I should state that not only does she not have control over her powers, she is absolutely oblivious to why this is happening. She doesn't even realize that she has this uncontrollable power to begin with. So, one day in science biology class, she is linked up with a new male student where she learns about Alamoon, and she begins to question whether or not this is something that could exist within her. She begins to test it out on her lab partner. After a situation where he was innocently flirting with her and complimented her, she is triggered and has a slight traumatic flashback and a blackout where she attempts to control her lab partner's mind, causing him to self harm himself with a pair of scissors. After this experience, she then has good intentions, at least better intentions, where she decides to use her abilities to seek vengeance on 3 of the individuals who harmed her as a child. After successfully accomplishing her revenge, she tones it down. She goes back to a normal life and doesn't use her abilities for bad or good. But little by little, the temptation grows, and she begins to mentally manipulate men into little bad deeds. Nothing too serious at first. But eventually, the power goes to her head and corrupts her. And her hatred grows into complete pressures and extremist views. She begins to create a fantasy world where women rule the earth and men are enslaved. All right, that's it for now. I hope you all enjoyed. This is now the 3rd character I have made a video on. There's 29 more to go. I appreciate the views and subscribers that I have obtained so far. If you are a first-time viewer, please like and subscribe. I have more supervillains backstories to explain in the future. Believe it or not, that is just the icing on the cake. If you thought the last 3 was controversial or dark, it gets even more crazy than this. Believe me, the Wretched universe is bizarre, over the top, and filled with controversy.
Creep blood on the page. Bad guys wake up when they open the cage. I seen the moon got a bruise in the sky. Every smile in this place got a venomous side. They wear coat capes like a warning sign. Laugh in the dark with a crooked design. No heroes here, just a throne made of scrap and 100 broken masks in a rap fest of trap. Tell me who you fear when the light goes thin. Tell me who you cheer when the bad ones win. Anti-Wretched comics run this blacked out zone. Anti-Wretched comics, bad guys got the throne. Anti-Wretched comics, hear the wicked choir. Anti-Wretched comics, burning down the wire. Villain city where the alleys breathe. Every deal got teeth underneath. A laugh in the sewer, a grin in the rain. A crown made of curses, a kingdom of pain. They sell doom by the issue, sealed in the blood, folded in nightmares, delivered in mud. This is the world where the monsters relate, where the punchline arrives and it's already. Tell me who you fear